Welcome back to Reflections. Your host, Jorge Gonzalez, and my guest is Dr. Silvia Fernandez, Colorado, to give the second last
My
name.
mom.
and so we were talking about your we go to Isabela. We're talking about solitude, and sometimes it's difference between loneliness and solitude, and sometimes it's healthy and sometimes it's very unhealthy. But this was very healthy.
Yes.
And then silence, meditation, a lot of walking. I mean, imagine at the beach and listening to the waves. So what? And you're trying to find yourself. You're not. You're looking for something. Something was missing, and you're looking for something. So tell us what's happening. What happened?
I think when I moved to Isabela, I was basically looking for a place like this, and that. And my friend Nevenka from Peru, she's like, "You're kidding, right? So you're describing your apartment in Isabela?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's right! I'm moving there." So I rented my apartment in Condado, went to Isabela to my apartment, and just lived there. And it was really great to be there for my work for the federal government, because it was emotionally draining and stressful, in the sense that these people needed a lot of our help and the Puerto Rican government's help. And the funding, well, maybe you don't know, but the funding is very limited. So the government of Puerto Rico can do so much and with so little sometimes. So it was like, well, I'm your friend, but I'm also your enemy, because I'm trying to help these people.
Right.
So Isabela helped me a lot.
You're helping, but fiscalizing. That's a tough role.
Exactly.
That happens in a lot of
Yes.
areas. That happened to us in United Way Fondos Unidos, where we're helping, but then we're also fiscalizing the agencies, and it's a role that
It's uncomfortable, but it has to be done.
It has to be done.
It has to be done. And after a while, then my supervisor, Dr. McGee, passed away, and I realized I can't do this without him. It's too much for me. And so I left that job, and then I said, I have to leave Puerto Rico. I'm going to Bali, Mom. What? No. Where? What do you mean Bali? I want to go to Bali to live and just relax there on the beach.
You're telling your mother this?
Yes.
Your mother, yeah.
And she said, honey, I support you, but how about staying a little bit closer? And I was like, okay, I'll go to Vieques. I didn't know anybody in Vieques. I had a friend who her family lived there, but I didn't know anybody there. But it was so great.
Culebra and Vieques are it's a different world. I mean, when I've gone there, it's a different rhythm and a different almost culture.
Yes. Culebra, I had an ex-boyfriend living there in Culebra, so I was like, no, I shouldn't go there. So I decided then Vieques.
Okay.
One is not working, so the other. And it's very interesting that
and not knowing anybody, not looking for, you don't have a job yet. You're just.
Well, I did have a job. I'm sorry, I did have a job. I did do coaching for students with my other uncle's organization, KinesisPR.org. It's a nonprofit that Jose Enrique Fernandez Berg. Yes, he's my other uncle.
That's your Jose Enrique's your.
You're
Fernandez.
Yeah,
okay.
I am Fernandez.
Jose Enrique and I go back a long time.
So you know both of my uncles.
Okay.
And and he said, why don't you come work for us? And I was like, yes, of course.
Jorge Fernandez.
Jorge is his brother. They're both my father's brothers.
Okay.
My father was the eldest.
Okay, that's it.
So I worked for him and Kinesis organization, which was beautiful, because I always wanted to work with college students and I never had the opportunity. So then again, another thing that I always wanted came about as a life coach. And it was so beautiful to be working from Vieques with my computer with these students. I was in my best area by the beach, going to the beach almost every day, and just planting my plants there and renting this beautiful home from a Viequense family, and I made new friends there. I was working at the radio station there with Robert.
I don't know.
He was from the States, and he was one of the people that helped the Puerto Rican. When there was all these political issues going on in Vieques, he helped this movement with the radio, and it's an AM station, 91.3 in Vieques. I don't remember.
I don't know. 91.3 FM is our station
one.
here.
I know. I don't remember.
That may have gotten into your subconscious.
This is FM.
Yeah.
They were AM.
91.3 AM.
91. 90.1.
90.1. Okay.
90.1 AM.
So
And so I did some radio there, and it was beautiful. Just this, and
what was the radio program on?
it was a little bit of everything. But of course, as a life coach, I said I can do something if it's only if it's positive, not against this, not against that. I want to do something
So
positive.
you were doing my program in
Yes,
Vieques, huh?
yes, I was, and I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my partner at the time, he loved music, so he had his music segment, and I had my life coaching segment, and it was really
That was
nice.
daily or
That was weekly.
weekly? Just 1 hour? Or?
Well, yeah, 1 hour.
Wow, just
weekly.
like me. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What a
yeah.
coincidence, yeah.
It was really nice. But we were talking about solitude, and I never thought that being alone would be so helpful in my life, in my journey, in my self-discovery, in my self-growth, my self-confidence, everything.
Okay.
It really helped me to understand myself, to get to know myself better, to appreciate myself, my body, my health. It was beautiful. It was
Okay.
beautiful. And I also, while living in Vieques, I also did some traveling, and that was also really nice.
Where did you go?
Where
Bali.
didn't
Bali.
I go? Bali was one of the places. Yeah,
How did I guess that?
Bali, Cambodia.
We
Hong
mentioned
Kong.
Greece the other day.
I've been to Greece 3 times, Portugal. I've been to many places. In Vieques, while I was in Vieques,
Did you regret not having done the move to Bali for those?
No,
No.
Vieques was my
No.
medicine. Thank you to all the people in Vieques. I love you. I haven't been back since 2019, but I love the people in Vieques, and I love Vieques.
And when what happened, as I mentioned at the beginning, Silvia has joined the San Juan Rotary, and we had 2 activities dealing with Thanksgiving. Comparte tu compra in front of Supermax, where we asked the people going into the supermarket to buy something extra that's not perishable and to donate it. So we then pass it on to needy. And so she was very. You're not only joined in as a volunteer, but you were really energetic.
Gung-ho.
And then very, with different people, you have this ability to connect with the person. I mean, it's they're so you have to start having conversations with these customers. That's kind of feeling sorry for some of them. And it's
I
like,
love-
no, don't give me your stuff. We'll give you some stuff.
I love people, and I think I get the love back. I love people, and people are always very nice to me. Even in Vieques, some people told me, "Oh my God, you're going to go to Vieques. You have to be careful. Those people are very territorial and blah blah blah." Pfft, nothing like that, Jorge.
Right.
People were so welcoming. They were so great to me. They were giving me their food from their trees. They were cooking for me.
Right.
They were open arms,
Yeah.
open arms. Beautiful.
But tying to what you're talking about in your experience with Vic is when we had the other activity we had related to Thanksgiving is the Boys and Girls Club, where for 37 years the San Juan Rotary has sponsored, have helped put together, get some other donors and entertainment and all, the Boys and Girls Club throughout the island. And we've done it for 37 years. I'm really proud of that, and I've always enjoyed that activity, and Sylvia was really involved. But you were telling me that when you saw the Boys and Girls Clubs, they came from, and one of the clubs came from Vieques. They woke up at 4:30 in the morning to get the ferry. I think the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock ferry, and then that contact that brought to
How do you
mind.
say? How do you say it?
Taco.
A
Something.
knot in your throat. A knot? Is
A
that
knot
how you
in
call
your
it?
throat
Like a
is the
knot?
word. Yeah,
Like a knot?
taco en la
Like you
garganta.
can't speak and you're gonna almost cry. They're like, "Oh, we're from Vieques," and I was like, "Oh my God!" I had to like, Sylvia, it's okay. You're gonna be fine. Sylvia, smile. I had to remind myself I was in a public place. I couldn't start crying, and there was no reason to cry. It's just
well, it was tears of
Vieques.
joy. I mean,
Yes,
tears
Vieques
of
was
joy.
so significant.
Good memories. But we had we had clubs from Mayagüez to Vieques, from all over the
It was
island.
beautiful.
Over 300 kids. So you were really, tell us about that experience of Thanksgiving, and tie that back to the story with the Vieques experience, because you got involved with the Boys and Girls Club in Vieques. So
I
tell
did.
us what the Thanksgiving experience and how it ties to to what you did with the Boys and Girls Club in Vieques?
Well, I have been very lucky with my mom, my dad, my stepdad, my family members, my support, my sisters. And I think that has given me a network to feel confident in doing things that other people wouldn't do, and changing my life. And going to Vieques was one of those things where my mom once told me, Sylvia, we thought you were going crazy because you moved to Vieques and left everything. My friends are like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? And it was such a simply beautiful life. And serving, I think I was brought here to serve, but I realized I have to put myself first. And when you put yourself first, you have so much to give, so much to give. And that activity, it was just so fulfilling to see these children enjoy that day and being served by others. Because some of us are lucky enough to have time and some money to go out and go to a restaurant or go to a fast food or travel, and some people don't have that. And it was so nice to just smile at them and serve them and say hello and have fun and see them dancing and singing. It was beautiful. And the Boys and Girls Club, when the person in charge of the Boys and Girls Club came up to me and she's like, Sylvia, I see your energy. I see how you're changing people's lives here in Vieques. Can you come and do something for us? I know there's no other Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if they're gonna approve it, but we need coaching for our staff. We need life coaching for our children and for the parents. Can you do it? And I was like, of course.
The club was just started.
They were there for, I don't know how long before I got there. They were there already, but they didn't have the life coaching personnel.
Okay.
Nobody in the island had it. They were the first ones. I don't know if they have a program now with life coaching or psychology, because she first asked for psychology and I was like, no, I don't do psychology anymore. Because psychology focuses on the problem.
Yeah.
I do offer like talks to organizations and families and people. They sometimes bring me up for their activities at home, and that I can do with well-being, focused on the well-being, not on psychology, not on the problem, but on the alternatives of happy and joyous lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. And so you were with them. That was 5 years in Vieques and with the Boys and
Girls Club. It was just maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay, it wasn't
because,
too long.
No, it wasn't too long, but it was so beautiful.
Okay, so when you see these kids from Vieques, I'm always so amazed how respectful, how grateful, thank you, and
their behavior.
It's just
So
exemplary. They're quiet, and then the enthusiasm and the energy and the shows they put on was world class. It was really fantastic experience. So okay, so you go to Vieques, you Isabela, and then Vieques, and you're still trying to find yourself, but you're already practicing life. Both in Isabela and in
yes, life coaching since 2009.
Yeah, so you're already. It's not like
Life
you
and
got away.
business coach.
You started moving from psychology to life coaching, but it was kind of gradual. Like it sounds like it was gradual.
Gradually, and then my uncle gave me this opportunity because I was a university professor for 9 years at a university here in Old San Juan, and then I had a really uncomfortable experience which helped me move away from that and just quit my job. Yes, I didn't want to say a name, but yeah, it was a very uncomfortable situation. And I quit my job.
I call it the way it is.
I quit my job, and then they said, well, we're not going to need you for the next 6 months. So even though I had given them time to find another professor, so during that time, I wrote my first book. My boyfriend at the time, he's like, Sylvia, you've always wanted to write a book. They're paying you because your quitting day was 6 months away. So why don't you write your first book? And I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. So I wrote my first book, which is 365 positive thoughts, one for each day.
Okay.
And till this day, I find people and they're like, Oh my God,
What
you're
was today? What was
Sylvia.
today's thought? I don't have it. You forgot it.
You know what? I was gonna bring my 3 books to show them to you
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe talk a little bit about them.
I didn't know you had read
I'm-
handwritten books.
yeah, I
I know
have-
you told me you've got to write a book, and I said, well, I'm on my way, but.
And we'll help you with
Yeah.
that. I have my
last
people.
night, just a little bit off on the tangent, but last night I went to an exhibition, the first day of Williams Carmona, and then his sketches have these thoughts that as he sketches, he all of a sudden writes a thought, and they're really very deep. Each one of them, you know, they're very profound, and he's quite a character. I got to know him, and I hope we talked that we would go to visit him and get to know him a little better, and I'm going to have him in the program, so
Nice.
we'll see. But anyway, so you have this book on positive thoughts, 364, 65
65,
positive days?
one per day.
Yeah, per day.
For a whole year.
It's,
And it was interesting. The other day I went to this
yes, I
activity.
can use those because what I use a lot is the Nuevo Dia. And one
Okay,
of the thoughts I was going to throw out at you,
Uh-huh.
which
A positive thought in a newspaper?
well,
Oh
yeah,
my God,
well,
I don't believe it.
well,
I
no,
don't believe it.
What?
I will pay you
Okay.
if you have a positive thought from a newspaper.
No, para comenzar tu día.
Oh, they do have a positive thought. I don't read
no, there's a-
newspapers. I don't watch
Oh,
news.
really?
Yeah,
Well,
no,
you know,
never.
This one, for example, which is
Uh-huh.
what we're having now, the
Uh-huh.
communication says, lo más importante de la comunicación es escuchar lo que no se dice.
The nonverbal.
The most important part of a communication is to listen to what is not said.
That's not said.
Pero,
Yeah, words can be deceiving.
yeah. So anyway, I interrupted
No,
you.
do
And, you have wrote these 3 books, you know, in
2000, I think that was 2010,
positive
the
things.
first book. Before I started working with the federal government. That was beautiful. And then Vieques helped me translate that one into English, so I have that one in English and Spanish. And Vieques helped me finish another one with my cousin Antonio Colorado's son, Antonio Colorado also.
And what's the title of that book?
And that's the 7 C's with compromiso.
Okay.
So it's the C's of how to have a good relationship with yourself, with others, and with a partner. So that was only in Spanish. And then the third book is on gentle teaching, which is a philosophy of life for a culture of peace. At first,
get gentle teaching?
gentle teaching. And
yeah.
there is an international organization called Gentle Teaching International. They meet every year, either in the US or in Europe. And it's beautiful. I go there. Like I was a speaker, a keynote speaker last year in Portugal. And then this year it was in Canada. And so they go Canada, Europe, US, Europe, Canada, Europe, US, Europe. And actually in the States there are several organizations for gentle teaching, and there are several smaller organizations in different countries in Europe also. And that was my mentor, Dr. McGee, who passed away. And that was my third book. After he passed, I gathered some of the people to answer some questions, and we wrote about how gentle teaching has changed our lives. And this is my 4th book. I have another one coming, Gentle Teaching book, and they're all in Amazon. So you can find them under Sylvia Fernandez Colorado.
We have to take a break. I want to understand a little bit more the gentle teaching, how that combines with Montessori and democratic education. We'll be right back. This is Jorge Gonzalez, Reflections. My guest is Dr. Sylvia Fernandez, Dr. Soul. Which you haven't gotten, leaving them, you know, how that word came out and as part of your name.
Sir, of course.